Amid the majestic mountains, magnificent landscapes, and varied shoreline of Vancouver Island, Canada, the epic tale of a noble whale unfolded in tranquil ocean waters. This true love story involved a young male orca named Luna, who became separated from his family and then befriended humans while staying in Nootka Sound on the island's west coast. Luna's amiability attracted journalists from around the world who wanted to witness and document the event.
My name is Mike Parfit. My wife Suzanne Chisholm and I came to the town of Gold River near the fjord called Nootka Sound to write an article about a whale. It was supposed to be a little story, a curiosity. So we came here for 3 weeks. We stayed a little longer than we expected. 3 years. Because a whale story is never a little story. And a life does not have to be human to be great.
Saving Luna is a 93-minute documentary based on the couple's extraordinary experiences with the orca. The film depicts the heartwarming relationship between human and whale. Supreme Master Television had the honor of speaking with Mr. Parfit about his interactions with Luna and his work in producing the loving film.
And we thought we were going to make a very short documentary, but we had so much footage that we started to put it together, and suddenly we realized that this is a full-length film. We got support from the Canadian government agency and from CBC to make it a full-length film. And it took us 2 years to make it. We started taking it to festivals.
Saving Luna has won 19 international awards thus far. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. As with most people who make documentaries, you can't take the credit yourself. You know, much as you would like to say, well, you know, I wrote this story or I did this or whatever. With the documentary, you can't. It's all Luna. There's no story there if it weren't for this fabulous, wonderful, lovable character.
Mr. Parfit describes the times when he truly felt an inner connection with Luna.
I am sure that on 2 occasions, Luna recognized some feelings that I was having. Not in any way that we could describe, but at some emotional level, he knew that I had problems with a certain situation, and he essentially changed that situation. And I responded by feeling better. And I have no idea how that worked.
You know, it was a beautiful feeling communicating with an animal like that.
Michael discovered many fascinating facts about Luna during the 5 months they were together.
There have been philosophers who have said that because animals don't have language as we see it, they don't think. They just live on instinct. And after this experience with Luna, I completely disagree with that. Because every time I turn around and try to explain it with language, as we're trying to do here, I come up so short of what actually happened. Language is very limited, and that's one of the reasons that film is so powerful. The camera has more going on in the picture than just the words. And with Luna, it was as if, you know, that whole thing was expanded even more, so that just the words just hardly even touched on the experience that I was having and that he was having. I think the thing that I thought probably most often about him was that he was just as aware of living as I was. All the time that I was with Luna, I felt that he had that same intense experience of life.
We'll have more from our interview with Mr. Michael Parfit, co-director of the touching documentary Saving Luna, when we return. So please stay tuned. You are watching Supreme Master Television.
That was my greatest honor, was being able to be his friend.
Welcome back to Animal World, our co-inhabitants, where we have the pleasure of speaking with Mr. Michael Parfit, co-director of the award-winning documentary Saving Luna. Luna is a friendly, playful orca who was mysteriously separated from his family and ended up by himself in Nootka Sound near Vancouver Island, Canada. The local indigenous peoples, also known as the First Nations, believe that Luna represented a respected spirit.
Michael's going to tell us a story about a young First Nations man named Jamie and how he was Luna's best friend.
When he came up to Jamie, Jamie would lean over and look him in the eye, and sometimes would put his hand in the water very gently. And then they got to have such a relationship that Luna would bring him pieces of bark from cedar trees.
He does quite a bit of things, you know. The thing about the cedar bark too is, you know, if I grabbed it and I start pulling it out, he'll start pulling it out. If I, you know, break a piece off, then he'll just open his mouth and like, give it back, you know? It's like, okay, here you go.
And he would do this over and over again, and finally Jamie would maybe grab it, and Luna would whistle at Jamie. Suzanne was out filming Jamie for 4 days while this was happening, and it was just extraordinary to see this relationship that was established. And I think what it showed was how you know, a consistent relationship with Luna like that was really effective and really meant something to Luna, and it meant a huge amount to Jamie. I asked Jamie once, how are you going to tell your son about this experience? Because his son was a baby at the time, and so he didn't know Luna. And he said, well, I'm just going to tell him about the greatest experience of my life. And, you know, that was exactly right. It certainly feels like that to us. And I never had the same level of relationship with Luna that Jamie did. I did have a relationship, but Jamie's was really profound. And Jamie has some of the last lines in the film, which I'm not going to tell you because they're too beautiful for me to try to repeat. But they take you a long way.
Mr. Parfit feels viewers of Saving Luna will come away with their own meaning of the documentary.
People sometimes ask us what message our film has.
Yeah.
And I tell people it's not a message film, it's a story film. A story is something that repeats the way we live life. And in our lives, there are lots of questions, and then there are not a whole lot of answers. But we seek those answers all the time. And it's easier to find the answers that matter to us as individuals in stories than it is to hear what somebody else tells us to think. Because when we learn things from stories, it's our own learning. And I think that's what Saving Luna is all about, is telling the story of this experience and letting people decide what the message is for them. One of the First Nations guys who's in the film, he's a carver. He said, Luna's here to teach us a lesson. And we asked him, we said, well, if he's here to teach us a lesson, what do you think that lesson is? And he sort of looked at me like, well, you know, it's not a lesson that is going to be the same for each person. It's going to be different for each person.
In the end, Luna's story is one about love.
I think what I'm hearing here today is a love story that shows that human beings and animals can make a very strong connection. And that love story will go a long way towards helping humankind understand that we can do a lot more to save the animals. We're losing 270 species a day because of global warming. And wouldn't it be wonderful if we could bridge that gap with other species and turn every relationship with another animal into the same love story that you had with Luna. Imagine.
What would be really something. One of the things that's interesting, though, too, is that I think that Luna really showed us his awareness and his experience of life. And what Luna taught me to do was to empathize with animals whom I don't meet. It really has changed the way I look at every animal. And for me, I don't think I can say of any animal now, life is not as meaningful to you as it is to me. I can't say that of any animal. And that, that changes how you go about living. So it's these occasional relationships that we have with animals that emphasize that kind of extraordinary magnificence of life itself. That obviously we have a lot farther to go in terms of respecting it.
Our sincere gratitude goes to Michael Parfit, Suzanne Chisholm, and everyone else involved in making the heartwarming film Saving Luna, so that viewers around the world can witness the intelligence and loving nature of our animal friends. Joyful viewers, we have enjoyed your blessed company today on Animal World, Our Co-Inhabitants. Coming up next is enlightening entertainment after noteworthy news here on Supreme Master Television. May we treat all beings on the planet with love, care, and understanding.
For more details, please visit www.suprememastertv.com/AW